Well, got the Midland GMRS in the mail, finally, and we're going to set it up on the Xterra. Already got the antenna all on here. Big 5 Overland, GMRS antenna. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is a completely different Xterra that's in the driveway compared to last time. The other one, it unfortunately got totaled in a wreck, but you know, in the 2 years since I've posted a video, it made it really far. Ended up getting it on like ARB 35s. It was pretty much what I wanted, and then literally right as I got it built up, it unfortunately got in a wreck, but we upgraded to a 2015 Pro 4X, so much nicer. It's also on 35s. It is Titan swapped. As you can see, still running the R180 front diff until I blow it up or get the money to re-gear and throw a Nissan Titan front diff in there. But I already got the antenna wired to here. So let's, I guess, open that up and just start at it. I gotta figure out where to mount it and stuff like that. And I'll also show, got the wire, of course, from the bottom of the antenna. It kind of goes up behind the fender, pops in between this line here, comes out, you can see coming through. And I cut this open and it pretty much just goes behind the dash down and pops out over there. But I'm thinking about putting it on this side. That way, when I do mount the actual, the mic, like the jack, I don't know, the microphone right here, there's not a wire coming across, because I don't like wires. I really just have a phone charger out, and I got my dash cam all wired up. Can't even tell where it is. I gotta figure out what to do, because I don't want to plug it into here. I have a fuse tap and some extra fuses to hopefully just tap it into here. So right now, it looks like if I were to mount it on this side, I can just kind of run the wire up and into here, which it's going to be really close. I didn't want to extend wires. I might have to. Number one is I got to find a ground somewhere in here, and then, of course, find a fuse that has power only when the ignition is on. I'm going to figure that out and make sure I have a long enough wire. If I do have a long enough wire, this will be great. If not, I got to go buy some wire. So for mounting this guy, which is where your mic will actually sit, I'm thinking about just putting it right here. It's not really aimed towards me, but I have my phone mount on the other side. So I'm trying to think of the best way to do it, and I think that's going to be it. So I'm going to put it onto that side, and honestly, it'll be better without having the antenna wire just going across the shifter, stuff like that. So let's get this moved over to there. It's really simple. You just kind of just get up on it like that on each side. Cup holders are out, and you're going to do a similar thing on this guy. Nice. It's kind of windy, but got all that apart. Literally took like 2 seconds. So I'm just going to move this guy from being on this side, kind of pop it through. And what I did was, all these linkages are here, shift linkage, stuff like that for the shifter. I ended up moving it, the wires, just so they weren't going to get caught on anything, and kind of zip tied them and just shoved them back there. That way they're not in the way, especially on this side. If you're having it right on this side, there's just linkages and you don't want anything to get caught up in there. So I'm going to move it to this side and have it pop out there. Alright, so since I do want to tap it into the fuse so it's hooked up to ignition, I'm going to be cutting this. I'm going to be cutting it right here though. That way, in case I do just have to rewire this in, I have enough wire right here. I'm probably going to cut like probably cut about right there. And it should be long enough. Currently got everything pretty much taken apart. I don't know, just cut these wires, torn apart. It's just kind of like headphones. And then I'm just going to splice it off. I'm going to find some sort of terminal guy in here for the ground, and I'm going to find some ground up under there that is clean, and I'm going to use that to ground out this, the Midland itself, the GMRS, but I don't know the term, but yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, I honestly can't find a clean, easy, accessible ground in there, under the dash, and up kind of in there a little bit. So, thinking about just going on here for the e-brake mount, just using that guy right there. I can get a tin up in there pretty easy if I ever have to clean it or something like that. It's accessible, so I might do that. And that'll honestly make my life a lot easier than taking half the dash apart to find a bolt up in there. Alright, so the mount's in. You can use the hardware that they send you. Almost use it as a self-tapper. I used that screwdriver, just kind of put some force into it, and it just started threading through. It's really soft plastic, so gives you an extra fuse in line. So I am just going to end up keeping this into there. That way, if I ever pop a fuse or something and I need it, I have it. So, should work great. I'm going to get this slid into place. The seat, it doesn't really get in the way of the seat, so it is pretty much right where I need it. Alright, little update. Got the antenna wire all secured, it's in, and then the positive and negative off of the GMRS itself is coming off, and got our ground wire here. Still some red wire on it from ripping it in half, but ground wire here. I'm probably going to bundle it up and either ground it to that guy there or back down into there, and then positive wire here, this is ground, get that out of the way. Positive wires, of course, ran down in there with the connector. Comes up, fuse will be probably have the fuse right there, that way I can access it if needed, and this wire will be able to pop up and go into the fuse block. Alright, as you can see, this does not match that by any means, but these ones up here do. So I'm going to put this fuse back and then go and see if I can use any of the fuses up there that I feel safe using. So yeah, let's do that. Got the old fuse tap set up here. Since we are tapping into that 15, you're going to keep one of your 15 amp here, one of your 15s, and then the other 15 is to blow, or if it were to have over 15 go through it, it would pop, so no power gets to the GMRS. Alright, got it installed, or tapped, or connected, and then now I'm just going to wrap it up in some electrical tape, just have it secure, just be safe. I mean, it's really, really strong in there, like I cannot pull it out, so yeah, let's get this finished. So I don't really have a terminal big enough to fit around the threads on that bolt, so I'm going to come up in here and use, where are you? One of these guys right there. That bolt, and I'm going to ground to that because that is some clean metal and I don't have to wire brush it, so that's what I'm going to do. This will reach perfectly fine, so let's ground it. Alright, so I got the ground wire. It's not neat, it's really not, but it's all tucked away, zip tied up in a bundle. So that's the ground. I know it looks red, it's just because it's half peeled from the positive wire. And then as you can see, the ground is up in there. Again, it's not the cleanest thing in the world, but it's a ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook the radio up, plug into that fuse, and hope that everything works.
15 miles an hour, gusting to 25 miles an hour. Birmingham.
So, when the car shut off, turned the vehicle on, and it was on weather. I was just listening. I was trying to use this, but something was wrong. I used this on a trail the other day with a buddy. This is actually my buddy's GMRS Midland, a little walkie-talkie here, and he couldn't hear me when I was talking into it. I could hear myself from this to this, but not from this to this. But I checked. That means the volume is working, especially when key is on. And I go, of course, I can go to menu, and then channels. I think. Trying to figure this thing out. Go back out of menu. There we go. So I can adjust the volume, then go to weather.
Stay sunny, 85 degrees,
and
wind southwest at 15 miles an hour.
Pretty cool here. Does it do a thing on the 6 now?
80. This originates from the National Weather Service Office.
Pretty cool. So now, once you're sitting up in here, of course, antenna's on the front bumper. Got the old... Oh, that's coming off. Alright, so now it's hooked up. It is pretty clean. Nothing's really in the way. It's all tucked away behind the dash cleanly. Clean ground, good connections. Now, when you go to power the key on, and start up the car, and of course, sitting there like that. That's actually somebody on there. That's really funny. Hello? Hello? I don't know. I don't know why that was going through. That's kind of funny. Alright, so that's kind of funny. You can also power it off when it's all hooked up. But yeah, it's solid. Also, might as well just go around and show the exterior. It's got 5% tint all the way around and 35 on the windshield. And I threw the Midlands decal up here, or vinyl little thing. But might as well walk around and actually show the car, because this is a completely different one. And here's how it sits. It's sitting up on 35s on 17-inch DX4 Rebels, which I plan on getting the KMC GRSs hopefully in the next 6 months. It's Titan swap with Dobinson coilovers. I'm running rough country control arms because I got an absolute steal on them. But I want to get Total Chaos or Dirt King or something. Whenever I have money, I also want to get Dirt King lower control arms, but that's $1,000 on control arms that I do not have to spend. Of course, GMRS antenna by Big 5 Overland is on there. Got the 3 grow lights, threw some black housings on it, got an airflow snorkel used. And it is also hooked up in there. It's running an R180 front diff with Infinity QX80 CV axles. In the back, we're running Old Dogs Off-Road Broverland leaf springs, Dobinson extended travel shocks, got the ARB diff cover. Of course, we got extended brake lines all the way around because that Titan swap. You'll have so much travel, you'll rip a brake line if you don't do that. Got a Hefty Fab transfer case skid plate. I have the radiator skid. It's not on right now. I bent it, and I got to bend it back. I just keep putting it off. I really got to do that, but she sits nice. All right, so if this thing would focus. There it goes. Camera died. Plugged it in, or phone died. Just plugged it in. But yeah, it's really it for the exterior. I mean, there's a lot more. I'll definitely go in depth and make like a video on the vehicle itself. Hefty Fab front bumper, stuff like that. I don't know. I gotta get that video out. I gotta post that, whatever. We'll figure that out when the time comes. But GMRS install went really well, especially with the Big 5 Overland antenna. I'll put a link to their Instagram in the bio. Just please go check them out. They make some really good quality stuff. And we kind of get almost a, us being in the United States, we don't really get cool GMRS antennas. There definitely is some companies out there that make them, but nothing like they have over in Australia, like Big 5 Overland is doing. So hope you guys can go check them out. And of course, yeah, so it only has 142,000 miles. It's 2015 Pro 4X. We got the locker. But yeah, definitely an upgrade from the last one, especially with 4-wheel drive. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. Pretty simple install. I just took my time on it. I'm not really newish to wiring. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked it.